What up, Doe? What up, Doe? What's good, y'all? Back for yet another episode of 411 Lions. Kind of the last episode of the regular season. Of course, we got playoffs and things like that coming up, and we'll figure out where we're placed at in the playoffs after this weekend. But yeah, appreciate y'all for listening. Appreciate y'all so much for being back. Obviously, it's been a great season, which I don't think is much of a surprise to most Lions fans. So hoping to just kind of keep the momentum going as far as the show, as far as the team, a little bit of everything. But of course, I'm King Keith, Keith Boggs, whatever you want to call me. You can follow me on Instagram at _ Dr. King's Dream, Twitter, same thing. And I'm going to pass it over to CB so she can introduce herself as well.
What up, world? It's your girl CB. You can follow us on TikTok at 411 Lions. You can follow me on Instagram at CB Love That for ya. Look at you about to laugh. And then you can follow us on the Apple Podcast on 411 Lions. And then you can also follow us on Spotify, 411 Lions, if you want to see our faces, which I know you do. I know you do. So you can click that Spotify, subscribe.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, CB, as I mentioned earlier, of course, we got a big game this week, very big game. We had a big game last week too, though. I do want to chat about the 49ers really quickly. Of course, the Lions have a big game coming up, but they have...
Right, let's talk about the first game.
49ers. Yeah, of course. Got to talk about the 49ers because, I mean, almost obviously coming into the season, that was like a big game. And now the 49ers don't have as good of a record. It almost kind of felt like a bit of a trap game almost, even though the 49ers still have a lot of talent. So can't take them easily. It was quite an interesting game. Final score was, what was it, 40-34, I want to say was the final score?
40-34.
40-34. Lions did finish it off. Very, I don't want to say up and down game. It was kind of just down on the defensive side very early. Really, neither team could get a stop. It's essentially what was going on. The Lions didn't score on their first drive, but then they just started reeling them off, and they really could not stop the 49ers for most of the first half. And then the tides turned in the second half. We got a couple of big interceptions from Kirby Joseph, who we'll talk about a little bit later. And the offense just kind of kept rolling. Everybody got in on the action a little bit, which is really good to see. The offense continues to roll. The defense continues to look a little sketch. Some good and some bad. Yeah, some good and some bad from the defensive side of the ball. But CB, what were some standouts from the game?
Obviously, standouts of the game, Lions did give up about 400 pass yards. I believe the difference of the game was the turnovers. Obviously, high scoring game. Lions are probably the highest scoring team in the NFL. We do average 30 or more points most games this season. But those two turnovers that Kirby Joseph got, I definitely feel that was the difference maker. I also feel with Jake Moody missing, I believe 2 field goals and an extra point also played a big role in us winning. But offensively, I mean, we were firing on all cylinders, baby. I mean, did we really ever punt the ball? I mean,
yeah, very, very impressive display from the offense. And again, everybody just kind of was rolling. I mean, every position you can just go through and list that every single person kind of played well and contributed, from the O-line to the running backs to the quarterbacks to the receivers. Just a very good showing. Defensively, as we mentioned, again, the passing defense is really kind of the suspect area. The run defense has regressed as well some, but that's expected, losing Lee McNeil in the middle. But they haven't been as much of an issue. But the pass defense just didn't seem to be on the same kind of page against the 49ers. There were a lot of guys running open, which is really interesting to see. It looked almost like the Lions kind of played a different coverage than they usually play. They usually play a little bit more strict man, and I don't have the numbers to back this up, but it just felt like they played a lot more zone, and a lot of guys got lost in playing those zones. Kittle would get behind a linebacker, or Pearsall, who was just kind of open, it felt like the whole game.
Yeah, Pearsall.
Yeah, which, I mean, for the 49ers' sake, obviously it's good that he's looking well, but for the Lions' sake, the lack of tight coverage was pretty interesting to see. I don't expect it to be as much of an issue this week because I think that Aaron Glenn, he knows the Vikings very well over these past few years. I think he's going to come with a good game plan. That doesn't mean he's going to shut them down. But, yeah, there were a lot of holes in those zones. But to help out with those holes in those zones, We'll see. We don't know. He's listed on the injury report as questionable, but it does look like Alex Anzalone will be back potentially this week, and if not this week, then for whatever their first
Oh
playoff.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's going to make such a big difference because the Lions just have not been able to cover running backs and tight ends recently, and it's specifically in the middle of the field. He's kind of the communicator. He's the guy that gets the calls out. So it'll be really, really big to have him back. Again, don't know if he's going to play this week, but he looks to be on the verge of returning, which will be huge for this Lions pass defense.
Oh yes, and then McNeil.
What about him?
Is he still injured?
Yeah, McNeil, I'm pretty sure towards ACL. He's gone for the season.
Oh yeah. Oh damn, it was somebody else. Reader.
Reader, yeah, no, Reader's still in there. Reader's still in there. Yeah, Reader's still in there. I think Melifamble has been back now as well. Emmanuel Mosley is listed on the injury report. He apparently is dealing with some kind of an illness, but he really hasn't played yet. So, not really much of a loss there. But it looks like Anzalone will be coming back. Reeves Maben was back as well this past week. So hopefully between Reeves Maben, Anzalone, and Jack Campbell, we can get some better coverage there. I don't know what the status of Carlton Davis is at this point. It doesn't look like, of course, this
He's
week.
not gonna play.
Yeah, he's still on IR, so I don't know if he's not coming back this week, but I don't know what the playoffs look like for him. A jaw injury just seems a little bit unpredictable, but they're starting to get some guys back, and it's good to see. I think the pass rush is still lacking for sure, and then when you combine that with some struggling coverage from the linebackers, the front seven is still struggling. But I'm really interested to see how they look when Anzalone comes back.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see if he is activated against the Vikings game. But I mean, we can switch gears now because I mean, 49ers is what it is. We already knew, we're not really, I guess, playing for much. I guess we're playing to just keep the 1 seed, and if we were to get a tie, still own that tiebreaker with us beating the Vikings earlier this season. But ladies and gentlemen, season finale has come, and we couldn't have wrote a better script. I mean, the Lions and Vikings. Who would have knew it would come down to the last game, week 18?
Yeah, it's so interesting to see because both of these teams being 14-2 is just. I mean, it's the latest. It's the only matchup of two teams ever in regular season history that both have at least 13 wins. It's just a rare occurrence to see, and again, like you mentioned, it really couldn't have been drawn up any better as far as the script writers. I mean, the game was flexed into a Sunday night game, like everybody's going to be watching. It's for the number one seed. These two fan bases absolutely despise each other. I know myself personally, I absolutely despise the Vikings fan base for a lot of reasons. And again, we could talk about that later, but very interesting game. Sierra, what are you expecting? What are some matchups you're looking at? Just give me the rundown.
Okay, let me tell you first of all. I hear it's a motherfucking dogfight brewing in Ford Field, man. Go ahead. I can't wait. Shout out to Detroit. So I would say matchup wise, the corners. I think it's gonna be, can the Lions corners stop more pass yards, touchdowns, things of that nature, more than Minnesota can? Which, I mean, they have what, the first or second pass defense rank right now. I think we're like 6, I want to say, something like that. So I definitely, let's see what we have on this paper. So activated for the Detroit versus Vikings game Sunday night. Be there, be square, because there will be millions of people watching. Biggest game of the year. Arnold, Amik Robinson, and then we have Kendall Vildar. How do you feel about that one?
Yeah, I'd prefer to not see him play too many snaps. He might. It just kind of is what it is. But yeah, don't want to see him matched up against Jefferson or Addison. And if he is matched up against any of those guys, gotta give him safety help. Gotta have safety help over the top.
Okay, and then the Vikings QBs, they have Brian Murphy, Stephon Gilmore, and then they have Shaq Griffin. But only thing with these two corners, their duo combines for the most interceptions in the league. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
I personally, as far as one-on-one coverage, I'm not I'm not worried. I don't think that those are. Byron Murphy's fine. He's a decent player, and he has been a good player for a while now. Stephon Gilmore is a little bit more so reaching the end of the career. Um, I don't feel fearful of those guys covering the Lions receivers, tight ends. I don't. That's not a group that strikes any kind of fear in me. I think that the Lions will be able to get guys open against them.
Okay. And then Lions safety, we have, of course, Brian Branch, and we have Pro Bowl snub Kirby Joseph. And then we have, I always butcher his name. Say it for me. Start with an I.
Melifonwu.
Melifamu. So we have those three, and then their safeties we have Cameron Bynum, Harrison Smith, and those two. Yeah, they definitely force a lot of turnovers, but yeah,
Yeah,
I think we have the edge definitely on safeties.
Lions had the best safety tandem in the league to me.
Yes.
And
Oh
I
yeah.
think that there's an argument that their two safeties are literally the best two safeties in the league. I know Minka Fitzpatrick, Kyle Hamilton, there's some other guys that can make an argument. Derwin James, there's some interesting guys around the league. I think that right now, performance wise, those are the two best safeties in the league. And I think that they are going to have to be the difference maker in this game. Because the
Definitely.
Lions corners are just fine. Without Carlton Davis, I don't think that is an upper echelon group. I think with Carlton Davis, it starts to reach a higher level group, or maybe even Emmanuel Mosley if he was back. But I think if you're starting a Kendall Vildor out there, you kind of start to move down the list a little bit. Those safeties are going to have to be big, and they have been. They have been big. They've made big plays, and I think that they're going to have to be the difference in this game because I don't know what we're going to get out of the rest of the defense.
Yeah, those are definitely be my matchups where I'm looking at those corners and those safeties. Hopefully, we win the turnover battle. I don't give a damn if it's 0-0. Just please don't turn the ball over, Detroit. And
Absolutely.
I would love for Detroit to get a turnover. Neck and neck with I would say yards given up pass defense wise. The Lions give up 250 yards average a game this season, and then the Vikings, don't laugh so quick, you give up 243. So we're pretty much neck and neck in that area. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see. And then the last time we played them, we won by what, a field goal?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had to kick that field goal. So they definitely have pushed us to the brink. So it's definitely going to be, I think, a high scoring game. I'm going to call Detroit wins 41-38.
Ooh, that's a shootout. Wow. And
Yes.
I think that's a good call. I think that that's a pretty accurate take as far as the expectation for the game. I think this game kind of mirrors the last game, but the other way around. The Vikings started fast. The Lions started really slow. They were down 10-0 at the end of the first quarter. And I think that some of that comes from the fact that a lot of people forget the Lions generally just started the season really slow on offense. And I think that game against the Vikings was one of those where they were kind of struggling to figure things out. Brian Flores, obviously one of, if not the best defensive coordinator in football right now, given a lot of unique, crazy looks, takes some time to figure out. I think it took the Lions some time to figure out. Once they did figure it out, they really figured it out. So I'm expecting a high scoring game. I think the Lions start fast, but I think that the Vikings kind of find a way to get back into it. The Lions are undefeated on the road, but they're still also a really good home team. I expect them to be amped up. I expect them again to come out kind of rolling
Oh
and
yeah.
moving fast. I'm hoping really that the Lions can establish the run game before anything. When I look at the receiving versus defensive back kind of matchup, both of these teams have like elite receivers. Like they're going to get open. Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, outstanding combination. You got TJ Hawkinson at tight end, fantastic pass game. Sam Darnold's playing good. On the Lions side, you have St. Brown, you have Jameson Williams, both approaching. One has over 1,000 yards, one is approaching 1,000 yards. You have Sam Laporta, fantastic tight end as well. There are going to be openings. Guys are going to get open. You have really good offensive minds, Kevin O'Connell, Ben Johnson. It's going to be a lot of offensive firepower in this game as far as the receiving matchups. I want to see how these teams do running the ball, especially with the Lions not having David Montgomery. It's going to be interesting to see if they can establish the run. It hasn't been a problem since Montgomery's been gone because Jameer Gibbs is so good.
Oh yeah,
But I want to
Sonic.
see. Yeah, he's fantastic. He's outstanding, and everybody figured that he could take over the number one role if need be. And all he's doing is proving that he can. So he's been
Sonic.
fantastic, but I want to see how the run games match up because the Vikings did run the ball pretty well against the Lions last matchup. So I want to see how that goes, but I do ultimately think this game will be decided by turnovers. I do. I think the question is because everybody is like Brian Flores is going to run these blitzes and he's going to do these things, and for some reason people still have this outdated idea that Jared Goff struggles against the blitz because he's unathletic, which I think as we've come to find out, Jared Goff absolutely does not struggle against the
Yeah,
blitz.
he's done good. What, a 79% completion rate when the
He's
blitz is there?
He's really good against the blitz. The numbers are there. The film is there. Jared Goff has been a really good quarterback when it comes to really playing any kind of whatever, like play action, under center, whatever. Whatever you ask Jared Goff to do, he's been very efficient this year. So I don't think that that's going to be an issue. The question is, can the Lions do things to make Sam Darnold uncomfortable? Because if the Vikings do find a way to force Jared Goff into a mistake, the Lions are going to have to find a way to match that. Um, we don't know what we're going to get from Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's been really good this year, but he has had a couple of moments where he has looked a little bit shaky. The Lions gotta get that shakiness out of him. I'm hoping to see Zadarius Smith, of course, a former Viking, go up against Minnesota and really put some pressure on Sam Darnold. They're going to need it. I think that if the Lions can put pressure on Darnold, if the Lions can force him into a mistake or two, Kirby Joseph's obviously going to be extremely motivated for this game. I if I had to put a score prediction on it right now, I would probably call. I'm thinking 38-30, somewhere in that range.
30, 30. We definitely at least need 35. We
Yeah,
definitely need 35.
yeah. The Vikings they're just so explosive, and they really have the option to like kind of just throw it up to Justin Jefferson at some point. And I mean, they've almost been able to rely on throwing it up to Jordan Addison because he's really good also. So it's a lot to stop. I don't really feel like you can manage trying to completely stop this team. But if you can slow them down, if the Lions can hold them to a few field goals when they get near the red zone, things like that, that'll help them out. Play that bend but don't break defense because the Vikings receivers are going to get theirs. It's just a fact. And the Lions receivers are going to get theirs. It's just a fact. But if we can pressure Sam Darnold into throwing a pick, if we can get Brian Branch to make a big play, if we can force a fumble, something big to kind of move the momentum a little bit, I don't think the Vikings defense has anything to slow the Lions down. I don't.
Yeah, they claim, oh, the Vikings defense number one, this, that. But when we played, y'all,
Yeah, the Lions put up 31 points against the Vikings defense,
I was just about to say we did score. It was 31-29. So
and this was when the Lions weren't fully. They were getting there, but I don't think that they were fully rolling at that point in the season either. So yeah, I think that the Lions can score points. They'll also be at home, which again I know they've been undefeated on the road, but that might just be kind of a product of the schedule more than anything.
let's
Um,
see.
I
Yeah.
I don't know. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be a
Oh
really
yeah,
good game.
be
I'm
there or be square, baby, because it's gonna be a good game.
Yeah. And speaking of Square, I hate Vikings fans. I do. I do. I have to say it. I mean, it might just be social media, but they are just so unintelligent. It seems like they seem like they're new to football. And they'll
Ooh,
like people trying to accuse Lions fans of being that because like, oh, the Lions just got good, but like the people that are Lions fans have always been Lions fans. The Lions have diehard fans that have kind of stuck through this. And I'm not saying the Vikings don't. It just seems like they don't. Um, the whole issue with Kirby Joseph just really makes me very uncomfortable. And I think that Vikings fans are the people that are kind of parodying it. Though I would like to also throw some shade at Matthew Stafford because he's the person who started it. I personally think he's the reason why Kirby Joseph is not in the Pro Bowl. And
you think so?
as somebody that's supposed to be a Lions legend, which I mean, Matthew Stafford did a lot. I'm not going to discredit everything he did for the Lions, but it's really disappointing to see somebody like him, I feel like, be the issue with that. He was the guy on NFL Films. They caught him saying when Tyler Higbee had his injury because Kirby Joseph hit him low. Um, that Joseph is a dirty player. Joseph's a dirty player, saying all these kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
And Tyler Higbee and all these guys were so amped up and wanted to play the Lions, blah, blah, blah. And guys went out there and they lost. They got beat. And I feel like a lot of people are really just salty at the fact that Kirby Joseph is a really good player who hits guys legally. Like, if you're 6 feet tall and you're 190 pounds and you have a guy who's 6'5, 260 coming at you, why would you hit him high? It does not make any sense to try and take him down high. You aim low so you can actually bring him down because otherwise he's going to run you over. This idea that hitting guys low is dirty is it's dumb. It's dumb and it's ridiculous and it's taken kind of a new life because of Vikings fans, because of Packers fans, and because of Matthew Stafford.
And you think Matthew Stafford has something to do with
He's,
it too?
he's
I
the
mean, I
person
know he said,
He's the
you know what
person
he
who
said.
started. He started. He said it on camera that he thinks he is dirty, and that reputation has kind of followed him. Even though, again, he's only hit a couple of people low that ended up getting injured last year. Because T.J. Hawkinson, I'm pretty sure, got hurt. I think it was against us as well on a low hit. And it's like, again, you're a big guy. What do you expect somebody that's smaller to do? Like, they're going to hit you low. So it's just really disappointing to see. And Vikings fans have been the main people pushing that. So I'm not wishing any kind of injuries, any kind of bad luck on anybody. But I would love to see the Vikings get destroyed just legally and physically
Illegally.
and I would like to point out, I would love to see, because I was looking at the scenarios. If the Lions win, of course, they're number one. The Vikings fall to number 5. If vice versa happens, the Lions fall to number 5. The Vikings go to number 1. The Rams are currently the 3 seed, but they're sitting their starters. It looks like if they lose and the Bucks win, then whoever that 5 seed is, whether it's the Lions or the Vikings, will have to go to LA and play the Rams. I don't like that matchup for Minnesota. I would love to see them lose this game, have to go to LA and get kicked out in the first round. Because I really think that that's very, very probable if the Lions win this game.
Oh yeah, I definitely feel that we are capable of beating the Vikings. And if we got to beat the Rams, but no, yeah, I was just about to talk about scenarios with, okay, if the Lions lose, okay, so you pretty much went over it, but yeah, I don't think we going to number 5 Vikings. I think that's gonna be y'all. Y'all asses is going to number 5, baby.
Yeah,
Cinco de Mayo.
I really do hope so. I really do hope so. It would really back up a lot of the talk and a lot of the hard play that the Lions have put on. And I have faith in the Lions to still, even if they lose this game, to make it to the Super Bowl as a wild card team. I don't doubt that. I think they can still beat anybody, anywhere, at any time. But if they could be the number 1 seed, get that week off, get some more guys healthy, Anzalone hopefully get the cast off, Carlton Davis potentially come back, and maybe get like another defensive lineman or somebody in the rotation there, that would be fantastic. Maybe even potentially get David Montgomery back if we're talking about second round in the playoffs. So that would be fantastic to see. That would be great. And I'm hoping that the Lions just come out, right mentality, play ball, roll over these guys. You are better than these guys, because I do think the Lions have a better team.
Right. Okay. So 2 scenarios that I'll ask. If the Lions lose in Ford Field to the Vikings and they have to drop to number 5 to be the wild card, how do you feel about the Lions' chances playoff wise?
I'd still feel good. They'd have to run off 3 wins, obviously, to get to the Super Bowl instead of 2, which does suck. Especially considering they would still be 14-3. So if you told me that at the beginning of the season they were 14-3, I would be like, oh well, yeah, they would definitely have the number 1 seed or at least have a shot at it. So that would suck that they would be 14-3 and have to do that. But they would have to go to Tampa Bay or LA. They beat LA already. They actually lost to Tampa Bay, of course. That was one of their only 2 losses. But I think this Lions team beats Tampa Bay, and I think they beat them pretty handily if they do have to play Tampa Bay right now at this moment. And then at that point, I mean, it's Philly and Minnesota, and the
Super
Minnesota
Bowl.
matchup, huh?
And then Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, the Minnesota matchup, it is what it is. We know that they play as hard, they play as tough, they play as close. But we also know that we can beat them because the Lions have beaten them 3 times in a row now. So we'll see. We'll see. It really will be interesting. But I do think that it would make their chances lower to win the Super Bowl, because I think that if they get that first round bye, that they're probably the most dangerous team in the field, because they'll get some more of their guys back. But if not, I mean, it's same old backs against the wall, underdog kind of, do what you got to do.
Yeah, this game is pretty much a toss up with who people have winning. It's hilarious. It's pretty much 50-50 split down the middle. I think it's probably going to come down to either the turnover battle, a field goal, or damn it, who got the ball last, okay? Because this is about to be a dogfight. And if you ain't watching this game Sunday, I don't know what the hell you're doing. I don't know where you're going to be at if you ain't watching this game, man, because this is probably going to be the highest viewed game. It's projected to be the highest viewed game this season. This
Oh,
is a playoff game.
it is. It is.
This is a playoff game.
Essentially, it's the playoff game. And there are a few of them this weekend. There's some really good games this weekend, but this is like the one that's just served up on a platter. Like, this is the two best teams in the conference, and you get them playing at full whatever. Like, neither one of these teams are like, I mean, we could do without winning this game. No, these teams want to win this game. They want to win it bad. They want to win it for the seeding. They want to win it for pride. They want to win it for the fact that they want to beat the shit out of the other team.
Oh, it's going to be a dog fight.
Yeah, it's about as high level football as you can expect. So we'll see. We'll see. Again, I don't know. The Vikings are capable of winning this game. I think that the Lions are going to pull it off, though. I do.
Yeah, this ain't gonna be an easy win. We need at least 35. We need to score on pretty much every drive. We can't afford to do these punts and all that other shit. So we need to score on every drive, but this is gonna be a dogfight. Damn it, Minnesota. If you want the crown, you gotta come to Detroit to get it.
These
Get
these
it.
Lions are the division champions. They almost were the NFC champions. I mean, this is the squad to beat in the field. The Lions are the squad to beat, and they have been all year. And they've been getting people's best shot. They have been getting people's best shot, and they're going to get Minnesota's best shot this time around. One last point I want to make is I really hope that the Lions bring their best on first down. Because we already know how Dan Campbell is. By the time it gets to fourth down, if it gets to fourth down, if he's past the 50-yard line, if it's within 3 yards, 4 yards, 5 yards, 11 yards at this point, he's gonna
90 yards.
yeah, he's gonna go for it, and he has the utmost faith in his guys. He's gonna go for it. But I want to see them get off to a good start on first down. So once they get down the field and they potentially get to those fourth down situations, that they're short situations. Because we know on fourth and short, I have the utmost faith in the Lions converting. Like, I have no nervousness when it's 4th and 2 and they're lined up for some kind of crazy play. I believe they're going to get it. But if they can be successful on first down, if they can stay ahead of the sticks, no sacks, no major losses or things like that, stay ahead of the sticks, keep the pressure on the Minnesota defense. And I think that the Lions win this game pretty handily.
Man, I just got one more question for you, brother.
What?
Can it be Sunday already?
Look, I will say it helps that they got Sunday games. There are Saturday games, excuse me, 2 Saturday games tomorrow. So that helps kind of speed things up a little bit. But yeah, Sunday, 8:20 p.m., it can't get here any faster. I mean, it's going to be a circus. It's going to be a circus there in Detroit. It's going to be a circus here in New Jersey in my apartment. It's going to be wild. So we'll see. I mean, hopefully when we're doing this podcast, we're doing it with some good news for y'all.
Oh, yeah. We doing it with smiles on our face because we ain't going down. If you want the crown, you got to come to Detroit, Minnesota. Boom, bam.
This is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. You couldn't ask for anything more.
Couldn't ask for a better game. I cannot wait. I will be in front of the TV with my wings, yelling. Got my football in my hand. We better do our thing, man. We better do our thing.
Yeah, and with that being said, hopefully everybody else will be in front of the TV watching. Hopefully all Lions fans, we get to see a really good game and a really good outcome to that game. And look forward to hopefully seeing our smiling faces next week. Hopefully we have a good look on our face. Hopefully we're really happy about the outcome of the game. But regardless, they're our Lions, and we're going to root for them, and they'll be fine in the playoffs. But we love that number 1 seed. I love to see the Lions not playing football next weekend. I really would.
Man.
But with that being said, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Thanks, of course, for listening. CB, go ahead and take it away.
All right. This is the last game of the season. Make sure y'all there. Make sure you're in front of your TV. Go to the bar, whatever you got to do. You can follow us on 411 on TikTok, 411 Lions on TikTok. You can follow us on the Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcast, 411 Lions. If you want to see us and view us audio-wise, because people keep asking me, you got to download Spotify, damn it. I know Apple users. I know it's hard for you. I know it's hard. But do it for us. And thank you, new listeners.
Absolutely. All right. With that being said, y'all have a great rest of y'all week. And again, hopefully we'll be smiling the next time we see y'all.
We'll be back here Monday.
Adios.
Peace.